All right, welcome to your practice. Let's start with a little more relaxed practice. You're going to take a prop, whether it's a pillow, a rolled up blanket, or some blocks, and you're going to lay on them so that we're opening our chest a little bit. So you're going to put the block or the prop right under your shoulder blades. I'll demonstrate. So with the block, you're going to put it right near the top of the shoulder blades. Okay, you're going to lay that on the ground. And if it's the same thing, you're going to lay it long ways, long ways. So the block might be too high, which is okay. You can put a pillow under your head if that's the case. Or use a blanket. You want to lay it long ways. So right where the shoulder blades are, top of the back. So your hips are on the ground. And then you're just going to let your head fall a little bit, maybe. It can easily definitely be the same height. So you can have two blocks. You get a little bit of a chest opening happening. Okay, looks like they're pretty much set up. Comfortable. You can bend your knees, or you should be able to stretch your legs out. Should feel just as fine on the body. Take a deep breath in through the nose. A couple more like that. Try to feel the side of the ribs and the top of the chest kind of opening with each inhale. Bring your arms out by your sides and a little overhead and kind of slide them up. Slide them up. So it's like you're trying to stretch, like a yawn almost. Stretch your arms back and back behind your head. And pull them down a little bit. So you're getting a little bit of a shoulder opener, a shoulder mobility thing here. Feeling the arm bone in the shoulder joint. Each breath. Inhale, the arms can stretch up. Exhale, you kind of pull them a little bit lower. So a couple more times. Rest your arms. Go ahead and push your feet down a little bit so that when you push your feet down, your hips lift up. And so that when your hips lift up, you can actually feel like you're trying to slide your shoulder blades down your back. So you're getting a little bit deeper opening happening across your chest by pushing with your feet to open the chest, using that resistance against the prop. Once you get a little more opening in the front, those shoulder blades move down the back. Go back to that motion with your arms. You stretch them out over your head and then pull them down kind of by the sides, back and forth. A couple more times. Good. If your knees are bent, just drop them over to the right. If they're not bent, bend them and then drop them over to the right. Try to keep your shoulders resting on your prop. So you get a nice little twist in the low back. Let's take the knees up and drop them over to the first or the second side. Good. Roll onto your side and remove the prop now. And go ahead and lay on your back. Interlock your fingers and stretch your palms up into the air. After you've stretched your palms up into the air, send them back over your head. Breathe here. Bring the hands back up. And pull your left knee into your body. Wrap your hands around the knee or underneath it and pull the leg in towards your torso. Let's hold that for a few moments. If you want, you can slide your other heel out along the floor. Good. Release the left foot to the earth and then bring the right knee up, holding it with both hands. Go ahead and pull that thigh in towards your torso. If you'd like, you can slide the left heel out along the mat. Release the foot to the floor. And bring both legs up. Put your elbows next to your ribs so your hands shoot up straight into the sky. You call them like robot arms. My teacher used to call them like T-Rex arms or jetpack arms. You got your elbows right near your ribs, and your hands are shooting straight up in the sky. What you're going to do is you're going to slowly let your arms, your forearms, fall out towards the floor, like you're opening an accordion. Just going to open across your chest. Feel the arm bone rotate inside the shoulder. You might get your hand to the floor, maybe not. Good. Bring the hands back up and rest them on your belly. And now do the same thing with your knees. Let the knees fall open. Maybe the feet come together, maybe not. Inhale, bring them back up. Let's do the same thing with our hands again. Hands fall out. Elbow stays in place. It's just rotating. It's really the shoulder that's doing the rotating. Come back up. Let's do the same thing again with the knees. Back up. Go ahead, slide your right leg out long and put your left knee across the body into a twist, something that we usually do at the end of class. We're going to do a little earlier today, so we're already down here. A little bit slower warm up. So now, as you bring that left knee across, take your left arm and kind of make snow angel motions. Make snow angel motions with your left arm along that left edge of the mat. Try and keep your left shoulder near the floor. Good. Roll it back to center. Go ahead, put the left leg out and take the right knee up and then over to the across the body. With the knee across the body, open the right arm up and make little snow angel type motions with the right side. Bring the knee up. Good. Let's put both knees in. So you're going to put your hands on top of your knees. Each one gets a knee. Bring it into the body. Bring the thighs towards the belly. Just relax here a moment. Now we're going to engage the core. So what you're going to do is you're going to open your arms up and out and your legs up and out, maybe on the 45-degree angle. And as you do this, pull your belly muscles into the mat. Good. Let's slowly come back. Put your hands on your knees again. And then slowly, as you exhale, pull the belly, the spine towards the mat, and send the arms and legs out. Bring it back. We're going to do this a couple more times. Curl it in and extend out. We want to try to keep that low back kind of grounding against the earth. Back in. Breathe. In motion with your movement. Exhale out. Inhale in. Exhale out. Inhale in. Exhale out. You're going to rock up to a comfortable cross-legged seat on your mat. Inhale, stretch your arms up to the sky. The right hand down, just tip your body over. Inhale, back up. Let's put our left hand down and tip our body over. Almost through with our warm. We'll do an upper body twist now. Twist your body to your right. Breathing. Inhale back. Twist to the left. Back to center. Good. Let's rock forward and then take the knees back behind you into tabletop, all fours. Let's concentrate today on our hands. You're going to press down with the heel of your hand. So much so, and you can even sit back, that the rest of your hand comes up. Even the palm. And now what you're going to do is with the heel pressing down, the heel of the hand, stretch your palm forward until the knuckle pads are pressing down on the mat. And now stretch your fingertips forward, wing up a little bit, and then press them down into the mat. So that you've got a really nice spread hand that is pressing firmly into the yoga mat with all edges and corners and points. Keep that sensation and go ahead and rock all the way forward with your shoulders until you still feel like you have stability in your wrist and in your hands. So you might get your shoulders maybe over the fingertips. Keep the sensation of a grounded hand and start to sink your shoulders as far back as they'll go. You might get your hips all the way to your heels. Let's do that 2 more times and make sure that you're keeping your hand fully engaged the whole time. All the way forward with the shoulder, whatever that means for your body. And then all the way back with the shoulder. Keeping a steady, mindful presence in the palm pressing on the mat. Forward. Back. Forward. Back. Good. Come forward. Keep the right hand down and stretch your left hand forward and stretch your right foot back. You can keep that toe on the ground or you can lift that leg up. Same pressure with that right hand. Good. Replace. Now let's mindfully engage the left hand. Heel of the hand first. Stretch the palm out and away. Stretch the fingers out and away. As you come up to the tabletop, you're going to shoot the right hand out and the left toe back. Maybe the left toe lifts off the ground. Breathe and keep the mindful engagement in your palm. Place back down with the hand and mindfully engage the right hand once again, like we worked on. You can do something similar with your feet. Tuck your toes and grip the toes, especially the big toe and the second toe. The big toe and the second toe really press on the mat. You feel a stretch across the sole of your foot. As you feel that stretch across the sole of your foot, now lift your hips up and push back into downward facing dog. Hands are still engaged. So we're really working on a very mindful connection to the earth today. And as you keep that very mindful connection in your hands, try to push the hands without moving them towards each other. So it opens the space between your shoulder blades. Good. Come back down to our knees. Keep the hands gripping, and let's bring our shoulders out over our palms, maybe over our fingertips. And if you can do that, what you'll do now is then lift the knees off the ground to plank pose. And then slide it all the way back to downward dog, gripping with the big toe, gripping with the second toe. Really all the whole foot. It's just you want to make sure you're emphasizing the mound of the big toe. Come down to your knees. Inhale, rock forward. Good. From your tabletop position with mindful hands, open your left knee straight out to the left. And then slowly bring it back down and replace. Grip with the left toes and slowly swing the right knee straight out to the right. And then slowly bring it down, grip with the toes. Left knee swings out to the left. Slowly back down, grip. Right knee swings out. Back down. Good. Let's sit our hips back. Keep gripping with the toes for today. As you sit back for your hips. Good. Rocking back forward. Let's walk our knees back a little bit and lift our belly muscles some. So if you can't really be in tabletop, you're more in like a kneeling plank. Hands are still connecting to the mat. Walk the knees back a little further, inviting the core to engage to keep the low back full. Breathe here. Hold the pose. When you're ready, you're gonna come down onto a forearm and then both forearms, replacing the hands like we've worked on. From the heel of the hand to the palm, from the palm to the finger. Good. Drop the pelvis into the floor. Position the shoulders over the elbows and peel forward for Sphinx posture. As you peel forward for Sphinx posture, press your hands down like we've worked on. Press through the inseam of the hand. That's the index finger. As you press down through the index finger, the inseam of the hand, open the front body a little more deeply. And breathe a yogic breath. Good. Slide your right hand way out in front so the body lowers down. As you slide the right hand way out in front, lift the left leg up and draw it back over. The left leg draws over the right edge of your mat. You can lean your head on your arm. Now walk your left hand way out to the left. And press your palms down like we worked on. As you press the palms down, you can stretch your limbs away from each other. Roll yourself back to center. Extend your left hand straight out in front of you, palm connecting. Roll so the right leg lifts up and back and over to the left. You got it. Maybe even a block can be under that leg. And then take the right hand and slide it straight out to the right like an airplane wing. Engage from the heel of the hand to the palm to the finger. And extend your limbs as you breathe in this shape. Rolling back to center. Replace the hands under your shoulders. Inhale, press down through the heel of the hand as you rise up, dragging the shoulder blades down the back. Deep breath in, deep breath out, and push back, downward facing dog. Press down through the big toe and the second toe, gripping the mat with the toes. Inhale, push down through the right foot and lift the left toe, pressing the down to the big toe, up into the air with the left leg and down into the earth with the right. Remind yourself of your engagement in the palms and fingers. Bend that top knee deeply and swoop it underneath the body as you lift up your belly muscles high into your back and your back high up into the sky. And then step to downward dog. Inhale, stretch the right big toe mound high into the air and the left big toe mound down into the earth. Mindfully keep your palms engaged like we've worked on as you bend the top knee. Exhale, pull that thigh forward and through, lifting it up into the belly and the belly up into the back and the back up into the sky. And downward facing dog. Step the feet forward and walk the hands back. Pop up onto fingertips, so all the fingertips are pushing firmly into the earth, so your hands kind of feel like tents. Really press down with your fingertips and try to squeeze or scrunch the mat towards, like each of the fingers are trying to touch each other, but the mat, you're holding the mat still. You can really feel, you can see the tips of your fingers are white, and you'll feel an engagement in your palm. You can't reach the floor, you bend your knees so that you can do the exercise. Good. Push down through your legs. Inhale, rise up to standing. In the same act of gripping, feel that you're gripping the sky. Like you're trying to turn a giant light bulb in the sky. So it looks like this in the air. You're holding a giant light bulb. And then turn the light bulb with one hand. Turn the other light bulb. Good. Now turn them completely the other direction. You want to feel the fingertips still very active. That's what helps open the shoulder more deeply. One more time, turn all the other direction. And then come back to neutral. Shift the hips back, exhale, bow, forward fold. Inhale, look forward, flat back pose. Exhale, step your right foot back and grip the mat with your big toe, your second toe, and the mound of the big toe. Press them into the earth, giving a stretch through your calf. As you press and grip there and anchor that back foot, do the same with the front. Pressing down through the feet. You can keep that back heel lifted or spin it down if it helps you balance. Rise up, high lunge pose. Send your arms up to the sky. Inhale, arms high in the air. Take a deep breath. Extending up through the arms. Keep pressing down. Ignite through the elbows so the fingertips feel active. Good. Let's lower our hands down to the mat. Rock forward and lift your back leg now as high as you can. Maybe even extending your left leg straight. And then replace it at the front of your mat. Bend your knees. Inhale, come all the way up. Exhale, bow, forward fold. Inhale, flat back. Exhale, step the left foot back. Grab the mat with the big toe, the second toe, and the mound of the big toe. Actively engaging the mat to tone the muscles all the way up into the hip. Do the same with the front foot, big toe, second toe, and mound of the big toe. So you feel the muscles of the leg begin to stabilize, firm. When you have that stability, inhale, rise up, high lunge. You can spin the back heel down if it helps you balance. Inhale, lift the arms up. Igniting energy through the elbows to stay active. Those fingertips, you can feel the sensation of what it felt like to hold the mat. So they stay active even though they're in the air. And breathe. Not losing our sensitivity to that gripping of the earth with the toes. Exhale, place the hands down on the mat. Step the foot forward. And then we have to lift up the leg to standing splits. Maybe straightening our front leg. So gripping with the toes. Exhale, lower it down. Inhale, swoop the arms up. And then bring the hands into the heart. Good. Take the arms out by your side like you were trying to fit yourself into a very narrow little crevice. Flex the wrists and push out. Here you will wing the fingertips back. And when you've pushed out, you're pushing out with the heel of the hand first, then the ball of the hand, then the fingertips. Like you're firmly against the wall with your palms. Grip the mat with your toes, especially the big toe. And from here, open your hands back to broaden your chest. Breathe into the sensation. Exhale, slide the hands down the leg. You relax the wrists. Inhale, flat back. Good. Exhale, step the right foot back, gripping with the big toe, the second toe, and the mound of the big toe. Keep that as you straighten your front leg, gripping the mat with the front toe, like we worked on. You're bowing over that front leg. Breathe here. Bend your front knee. You're going to step both feet back into a high push-up, high plank pose. Grabbing the mat. That's our main instruction today. Feeling how you create a muscular tone through your whole legs and hips. Same thing with the hands. As you grab with your finger pads and the heel of the hand, how it supports your shoulder. Hold this plank.
Exhale, downward facing dog pose. Step the right foot forward, grabbing the mat like we've worked on in our legs, and then slowly pushing the front knee straight, bowing over the legs. Step it forward to the front of your mat. Push down through the feet. Inhale, come up. Exhale, hands to your heart. Inhale, lift the left arm up high, and imagine that you're actually pushing that hand today against a surface, and you're having to move that surface, not just moving it through the air, but a hard, solid surface. So the palm, the pads of the fingers are engaged. As you come back up, swoop the arm back down in a circle. Inhale, lift the right, same thing, pressing against space. Pressing against space like it was a solid object. Just a gentle tone, you're not clenching. And then swoop it all the way around as you come back up. Good, you're gonna reach your left arm over your head and kind of tuck your left inner arm against the back of your head. And then with that, you're gonna grab the elbow or the wrist or the forearm, something, and pull. So it opens the back of your neck. Your head will fall forward. Putting the left arm more behind the skull. And once you've done that, now press the skull back against the arm to open your chest. So you can balance on your right leg and walk your left foot back some. Extending that line as you press your head into the arm. Lean back slightly. Good, and release it through. Before we go to the second side, take the arm across the body. And the same thing, pull the arm to open your shoulder blade away from your spine. Turn and look towards the left shoulder, past it. Make as much space as you can. Release. Inhale, take the right arm up behind the head. Reach and grab with the left hand, pulling the arm more behind the head. Whatever kind of works for your body. Now press the back of your head against that arm so it opens the chest and shoulder. When you're ready, you'll step the right foot back any amount to open the chest a little more, open the front body line on that side. Making space across the neck. Come back up. Go ahead and grab. Take the right arm across the body, grab it, and help pull the shoulder blade away from the spine. And then turn your neck to look in that direction, but make more space. Inhale back. Turn your palms to face forward, the arms face forward. Flare, right? So when we flare, the fingertips go back as opposed to press forward. And send those fingertips even more back so it opens the chest. Good. Keep sending that back so your chest is open, your back is toned, and now hinge only about a quarter of the way or halfway the most. So your back muscles are engaged as you hinge at your hips. Good, breathe here. If it's available, you're gonna rock up onto the balls of the feet, gripping with the big toe. This is really good for the SI joint. So grip with the big toe here, the second toe, and mound with the big toe. Lifting the heel, toning the back here, very good. Probably feel which foot is weaker. You might feel it in the knee, hip joint, SI. Trying to create balance in your body. Good. Heels back down. Bend your knees. Swoop it up. As you swoop up the arms, pull your belly muscles back into chair pose. Breathing, stabilizing. Don't let your toes lift up. And mountain pose. Nice little sequence. Let's do that again. Turn the palms to face forward. Ignite the hands so they wingtip back slightly. Follow those wingtips as you draw the arms back. Moving in the direction of each finger. Opening your chest here. Excellent. Keep that so it activates your back body. And hinge at your hips like a half swan dive. From here, rock up onto tiptoe. Grabbing with the ball of the foot, the big toe, second toe. Breathe and stabilize. Good. Plant the heels down, swoop the arms forward as you pull your belly muscles in and back. Back up. Mountain pose. Last round, turn the palms forward. Wing the fingers. Send them back. Keeping that awareness at the extremities today to open and release the core. Hinge at the hips, half swan dive. Grip with the feet, heels lift. Good. Plant the heels, swoop it forward with the arms and up as you pull the belly muscles back. And then dip it down, forward fold. Inhale, lift the right leg up high into the air. Exhale, bend the front knee and drop back into warrior two. Grab the mat with your big toe. Open up the body. Excellent. Stretch out your arms like surfers. Imagine today that your hands were pushing down on the top of a bookshelf or something. You're pressing your palms down to tone the underside of your arms. And stretch out. Breathing. Straighten the front leg and slide the hand down at triangle pose. Breathing. Keep the inseam of the foot, starting with the big toe and the second toe, and then the mound of the big toe. Use that to open the hips back and stretch the arms out. Swoop that top arm overhead and then bring it down to the front of the mat. You rebend the knee. Step it forward. Inhale, lift the left leg up high into the air. Bend and shoot that leg back. Big toe touches first. Grab hold of the mat like we've worked on all class. And open up warrior two. Today's warrior two, we press our palms down onto imaginary ledges and extend out from there. Gripping the mat with the inseam of the big toe and the second toe. Open up the hip. Deep breathing. You can feel the mind want to wane, and you set your mind on the toning of the big toe. You keep it the whole duration. Extend the front leg straight, slide the hand down the leg, and open your top arm, triangle pose. Reach the top arm to the front, and then bring it down. So let's step both legs back, downward facing dog. Drop one knee close to the mat while the other remains straight, and then push back, downward dog. Gripping with the big toes. Drop the second knee close to the mat while keeping the other leg straight, and then back to downward dog. Let's do that one more time each side, nice and slow. Send the knee towards the floor. Other leg is straight, hips are square, and back to downward dog. Second side. And back to downward dog. Good. Open the knees nice and wide. Keep the toes tucked. And let's sit back, child's pose a moment. Knees wide, toes tucked under. So you get a stretch across the sole of the foot. Bring your hips forward, nice and careful. Very careful with this one. We don't do this very often. Please be mindful of your body. You're gonna keep your knees wide. You're gonna keep your toes or your feet closer together. You're gonna bring your hips forward. It's called frog pose. You can take the feet wide too, actually. Your choice. Be very mindful of the knee. You might bring the hips in line with the knee or even in front of the knee. I'm staying on my forearms. The hip opener. You gotta keep your inner thighs engaged though. So press the knees down, you can squeeze them a little bit. You slide the hips forward. Frog pose, yeah. That low back starts to dip. You want to lift your belly muscles up. Good, enough of that. Let's be careful. Bring the knees in now and go ahead and rest on your belly. Take your arms out wider than your mat, even wider than your mat. Go ahead and grip with each fingertip. So you've made those tents again, like we did earlier. All the fingertips, but then the fingers and the palm, they're moving up. So it looks like a top of a pyramid or a top of a tent. That flows into your wrist and elbow. Keep gripping like you're trying to squeeze your fingers towards each other, but the earth is there. You can't do it. You'll feel a tone like your palm is being engaged. With that engaged palm now, lift your shoulder blades up and move them down your spine. Let's do it again. Keep squeezing with your hands, and as you squeeze with the fingers, as well, push down. Push down with the hands. This will help you lift up your chest, lift up your shoulders. And pull down away from the ears. Looks good, you've got it, you're doing great. There should be lots of space at the base of your neck. A little more muscular, but it has the benefit of opening the shoulder. Good, lower down. You turn your head to one side. One more round of that. Really concentrating today on the fingers and toes engagement in our asana. First, we grip and squeeze towards each other. We see how much that can lift, just that engagement. In addition to squeezing towards, as well, push straight down and lift up a little higher to this spider-tipped cobra pose. Sounds cool, right? And relax back down. Gripping with the toes tightly. Trying to flick the mat with your big toe if you can. You can push up 1 inch off the ground or push straight up into plank pose and then downward facing dog. Inhale, bring your left shin forward for pigeon posture. Keep the back toe tucked so you can press the big toe into the yoga mat, digging this big toe and second toe into the yoga mat. The hands, same thing like we worked on, from heel to palm to fingertip. Press and grip the yoga mat. And as you do this today, more active pigeon, pull with the arms, pull the hands back to peel the chest forward enough. Very good. Downward facing dog pose. Don't lose the mindful attention with the hands. Mindful attention with the toes. And bring your right shin forward. Grabbing with the toe, the finger, the hands. Pull the body forward into a back bendy sort of variation of our pigeon. Downward facing dog. Let's walk it forward. Plant the feet. And inhale, rise up. Arms high into the sky. And down to the heart. Release the arms. Take the feet as wide as the mat. You might even have your toes just come off the edge of the mat. Spread the toes, make space between the toes, and then again, grip with the big toe, the second toe, and the mound of the big toe. Very important. Gripping with the big toe and the mound of the big toe. As you do that, push your knees out in the same angle as your feet, and eventually your heels will lift up. Keep the foot engaged, the sole of the foot engaged. Knees wide, glutes should be engaged as you lower down. Breathe here. You've got a block, you can use it, otherwise you might find the floor with your left fingertips. If you've got the block, you're gonna grip and dig holes in your block. Push down with that hand and reach the other arm up to the sky. Like you're trying to pluck a piece of fruit from a tree, a low-hanging tree. Good, let's grab that fruit, put it down on the ground. Do the same thing to the other side. Grip with the fingertips and reach up, grab a fruit from a low-hanging bush. Back down. Good. Extend legs, plant your heels, and come back up. Inhale, arms to the sky. Hands to your heart. That was our starting alignment. We're going to do the same thing, but we're going to change our legs just a little bit. You can turn the heels in or out more. You can step a little wider. You can step a little narrower. We'll do this about 2 or 3 more times. And each time your feet should be in a little different placement. I'm going to go a little more narrow and a little more parallel this time. Grip with the feet, the big toes, the mound of the big toes, and start to sink down. Eventually the heels will come up so it becomes a deep squat, whatever works for you. The knees bend in the same direction the toes are pointing. Grip and push down with one hand as you stretch and twist up. Grab that piece of fruit. Second side, root down, reach up, grab that piece of fruit. Back down, rise up as you plant your feet. Good. Third distance, something different, a little wider, more narrow. Feet turned in or out. Grab with the foot, big toe mound. Feel that engagement all the way up through the hip joint and sink into the pose. Last round, grip and reach up, grab some fruit. What are you getting, an apple, an orange, pomegranate? Is pomegranate season? Other arm. Good, sink all the way down. Keep pressing down through the feet as you lift up. Good, relax. Bring the legs in. Good job, you can walk the legs out. Give yourself a second, actually be on the big toe and kind of spin your ankle. Just kind of release any tension. If you've overworked or overgripped, that can be common. The type of grip that we're talking about is like have you ever had like a newborn baby when they grab your hand, right? They've got this amazing grip strength in their fingers and toes. They don't, their muscles, they don't get tired. It's a different kind of grip strength. We still have access to it. It's to be strong and toned and engaged without really tiring out the muscle. The deep, deep tendon grip. Okay, both ankles been stretched out. Excellent. A little bit of balancing before we make our way to the mat. So if you want to use the wall, you're more than welcome to. And we will be emphasizing the grabbing. And if you're going to use the wall, you can practice that same hand pressing that you have been using all class. We'll do right foot down first, grabbing with the mound of the toe and the toes themselves. Let's do tree today. Strong standing leg. That's really what we're concentrating on. The grip strength of our first two toes. The hands can reach out and grip like they're dug into the soil of the earth. Stabilize. Yeah, nice. Looks good. Breathe here. If you do stabilize with the arms, you are holding deep into the soil of the earth. You can pull them back to open the chest here. Staying stable. Looks good. The tone of the toes and fingers should help you balance. Looks great, everyone. Don't lose the mental focus, though. And let's release. Go to our second side, but before we even lift up into the second side, we engage that foot, toe, almost like it's a talon, a bird's talon. And then bring the other leg up into our tree variation that works for your body. Arms out, dig them into the soil of the earth like moss. Don't tear the moss up, though, it's bad for the ecosystem. And then pull back so that you're bringing the heart more open into the pose. Excellent work. Back down. Release. Good. We'll do the standing pigeon. So here you'll have the wall in front of you if you're going to use the wall. And you'll go back to the first side, working that toe. You'll hook the ankle on top of the thigh or knee. Reaching out, grabbing. And then today you actually can think about making the heel as light as possible in the standing leg as you work those toes and the mound of the big toe into the pose. You can even actually engage the air with your floating foot. Release, second side, gripping the mat first before we even go past into the shape of the pose. Then hook the ankle. Then lower down. That standing heel might get lighter as you work the alignments of that posture at the foot, at the toe. This is much more challenging for me. This toe is not as strong on this side. So you can feel in your own body there's similar, there's preferences. You can discover latent tightness in one hip versus the other this way engaging the foot. So the interconnectivity of our myofascia, connective tissue. There's like these ribbons of lining through our muscles that interrelate our muscles to each other. Pretty interesting. Let's come on down to our kneeling position. We'll keep our toes tucked, gripping the mat. As you sit back, you might be able to sit on your heels. You can also put your hands on the mat or on blocks for some more support as you sit back. Stretching the sole of the foot. Concentrate on your breathing. Concentrate on where the attention is needed in the stretch. Is it the knees? Is it the low back? Where is your attention needed so that your body can go, okay, good. I'm glad you're paying attention. We can relax just a little because you're paying attention. We don't need to freeze up on you. Very important for a yoga practice. Lifting the hips off the heels, we're going to cross our ankles and sit back. Take the legs wide, heels wide apart. So, start by flaring the toes back. Some of you might be able to actually touch the big toe with your index and middle finger. If you can't, or it feels like you have to strain in any way, hold your shin or knee. And then push the big toe into your fingers or your imaginary fingers. So you created that connection like we've worked on all class. And slowly start to let the shoulders and head move forward into the pose. The arms should stay straight the entire time. Good. Inhale back up. Bring the left leg in so the foot is against the inner thigh. Flex the right toes all the way back. Grab the shin or the big toe if you can reach it. And then push that big toe to pull the arm, to pull the body. I'm going to keep that left hip completely grounded. If it's available and you want to go a little deeper, you take the other hand to the big toe as well and engage the pose still. Same thing, just another layer. Instructions, breathing. Inhale, release. Go ahead, extend out the left leg. Pull in the right against the inner thigh. And engage the heel of the left and the toe draw back as far back as it'll go. With both sit bones grounded, you can hold the ankle, no problem. If you want, if you can't grab your toe and you want to, you could get a strap. You could hook the strap on the toe and the toe can still do its thing. You can also just hold and still feel like the toe's pushing, it's still doing its job. You'll still get the effects. If otherwise, finger to toe and let's press through the tip of the toe, pulling the body without letting the hip come up. And even start to have to use the ankle to go deeper in the pose, no problem. It's available. You're going to take the other hand to the toe, or both hands to the toe, and Continue the same stretch with the rotation of the spine. And relax. Good. Bring the feet together. Hold the ankles. If it's available, you're going to press the heels and the pads of the feet together, but pull the toes apart. So heels and pads of the feet are touching, and the toes split open. Yeah, that doesn't sound nice. The toes spread apart. Flexing the feet like this, the knees should be able to drop a little wider, keeping that engagement. Bring your core up and into a balanced state with your back. And relax. Very good. Pull your core back as you slowly press your spine down into the mat. Lift your hips up into a bridge posture. Breathe and hold the pose. Press your hips down to the earth. Round number 2, grounded with the feet, lift up. You can press the palms down into the earth, next to where your hips were. Engage the hands one more time, opening the shoulder, along with the hip, through the engagement of your appendages, extremities. Take the right leg up into the body. If you'd like, you can stack the right knee on top of the left, so it's kind of like eagle legs laying on the mat. And then twist from here. Or you can do a more classical twist like we did at the beginning of class today. Breathe. Rolling back up. Bring the other knee in. Left, I think. Stack the knees. And twist. Back to center.
Do a little bit of inversion. So one more time, we'll lift our hips up and position a prop or two under your hips. So you can float your legs in the air. You can play with the air with your toes, flexing the toe back, pointing it forward, engaging the feet, looking at the feet as you do, and just realizing how tactile they can be. And we kind of put them in these caves a little bit, you know? At one point, this thing probably had a lot more dexterity. I'm sure our ancestors had a lot more dexterity in their feet than we did. You just take them in for a second. Don't judge yourself. As you hang out in your inversion. Slowly start to make your way down with your legs. Stretch out your limbs, remove any props. And now rest. You can just like squeeze and extend your hands and toes one final time. And let all that tension, let all that attention and focus go. And just relax. Start to stretch your body. Come up to a comfortable seat. Thanks, y'all. Namaste.